away.
It's a pretty solid hand from Owen. Having a tap land on turn 1 means he doesn't get to go Thoughtseize into Fleecemane. But Cuneo's also got a pretty nice hand. If Cuneo also the tap land is annoying him, otherwise he would have a turn 2 Courser. But still, turn 1 Elvish Mystic into isn't bad against Owen's hand, because if Owen doesn't draw another black source, he can't even cast Hero's Downfall. Owen looking at turn 1 Elvish Mystic against his not super metagame deck.
Yeah.
That's the other thing is Owen did pick a deck that is just generally good. Like Abzan Aggro is not what I'd call a targeted deck.
But yeah, I think the pause there is very much Owen going, what? Andrew Cuneo just played turn 1 Elvish Mystic against me? What is going on? It's got to be a little of that going through Owen's mind right now.
So Rukshasa turn 2 instead of playing Fleecemane, and I think a big part of that is that turn 3 he gets to go Plains, Thoughtseize, Fleecemane, and you can't do that with the Death Dealer because the Plains doesn't help cast that or Thoughtseize. Taking the Courser doesn't taking the Courser doesn't seem to help a ton. You could take Courser or Polukranos because if Andrew does draw an untapped land, that is the most threatening card. You could take a Courser, and then when Cuneo plays a Courser, a Temur or the second Courser, but taking the second Courser doesn't really help all that much. So I don't know. I think it's actually pretty close here. All these cards are pretty equivalent, and Cuneo can cast almost all of them. I don't know. It seems like a pretty tough decision to me, actually, because if you do end up taking Courser, it looks like Owen just went with the least replaceable card because Downfall can deal with Polukranos and the Coursers. There's just 2 of them. So my initial reaction was to not take the Sarkhan, but this actually might work out the best for Owen.
All right, Courser reveal, Sylvan Caryatid. Wooded Foothills is going to let Andrew shuffle that away.
And even though you do want to not draw or not play, you wanted to play a tap land, you really don't want to draw the Sylvan Caryatid, so you'd rather shuffle it away there. It's worth not playing a tap land, especially not. Owen has 4 mana next turn anyway to play Polukranos. Owen representing Abzan Charm here. I wonder if Andrew's going to respect that or not by blocking the Fleecemane line. Andrew is not the type to worry about stuff like that. I would have been surprised if he hadn't blocked.
This is a probably beat down bird from Owen.
Yeah, I mean, this is what the Abzan Aggro deck does frequently. 2-drop into 2-drop plus Thoughtseize into 3-drop is not an abnormal draw. And then with either a Siege Run. My guess is you just downfall the Polukranos, and then you can attack with Fleecemane and Anafenza as both 4/4s, or you can downfall the Polukranos and attack and put the counter on the Rakshasa, and then attack with a 3/3, a 3/3, and a 4/4. That deals 1 less damage, but you end up with splitting up your power a little bit better. Either way, I think it does start by downfalling Polukranos here, especially since you know that Andrew's hand is just another Courser, plus the card which you actually saw him draw. So yeah, I like hitting for 8 here.
Makes a lot of sense. That is exactly what Owen does.
So Cuneo now gets to decide whether he wants to play. I guess he gets to play Caryatid plus his other card. It's because he sacks his fetch first. I imagine he's going to play Xenagos because he doesn't want to give up the life gain otherwise. Make a 2/2, then play an 0/3. This is still not a great spot for Cuneo, just because Owen's creatures all can attack without really any fear here. Follow-up Siege Rhino as well as another Death Dealer in hand. Drawing a land is fine because it lets him Monstrous Fleecemane. Drawing a spell is good too. There's just basically no dead draws in Owen's deck. Even a Thoughtseize. This is probably the last turn you'd want to draw Thoughtseize, but even a Thoughtseize still takes a Courser here. So Owen looks like on upkeep is sacking the Windswept Heath just because he doesn't want to draw land, so might as well sack it. He's probably going to have to at some point anyway.
Hero's Downfall is the draw. Seems like a good one.
Yeah. Cuneo's got no good single blocks anyway, and if he double blocks Downfall to really blow him out. And I imagine he's just all attacking Cuneo here. Going after Xanago seems like wasted power. So now I would imagine.
And he does line up the double.
Yeah.
You go for Downfall here.
Yeah, Downfall kills play essentially, which is, I think, the best use you have of 3. You could also just kill the Courser and then Downfall the Planeswalker, but I like downfalling the Courser here. Free Anafenza plus killing a 2/2 is, I think, worth it.
Well, he's decided Siege Rhino is better than Anafenza plus killing a 2/2.
That he has Stubborn Denial. Really not what you want at this point. And lethal next turn, you can likely set up a play where if Siege Rhino gets blocked with the incorrect amount is also going to be pretty good. Seems pretty tough for Owen to lose this game.
Do you want to do that between games?
So it looks like this game's going to end momentarily.
I know we're having audio issues. We are going to try to fix those. I think as soon as this game ends, we will do what we can to remake our Skype. Calls with them.
So really does, yeah, there's really no blocks that are great for Cuneo here. He can trade 2. Basically, Cuneo loses all his creatures, and then Owen gets to play another Death Dealer. Owen can also then cast Hero's Downfall here. Owen can also just downfall the Courser and just deal lethal.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at.
That looks like the best line of action. Even if Owen didn't have the downfall here, I don't think Cuneo could win this game.
All right, there's the downfall. 4 points of trample.
So Owen takes the first game with a good, solid Abzan Aggro draw. Just creature into downfall, into Siege Round into downfall. Which is pretty ideal.
All right, we are going to take just a quick break from an audio point of view and remake our call, and hopefully that will clean up the audio difficulties we're having. Sure. Welcome back, or welcome back to us anyway. Andrew Cuneo and Owen Turtenwald heading into game 2. Owen had just kind of everything you could want from an Abzan Aggro deck in that first game. Cuneo with the sort of techy Temur Ramp deck. We've seen this deck zagged whenever did him to zig here. Everybody expect exactly work out in game 1. One update from another cable, by the way, Brian Kibler has lost his first game to Brad Nelson. So Brad up 1-0 on the other side of the bracket.
Yeah, this draw from Owen is not nearly as exciting. He even drew that Thoughtseize. If he hadn't drawn the Thoughtseize, his first play is turn 3 Heroes Downfall, which is really not where he wants to be. But Cuneo's on just like an all Sarkhan plan at this point. So this is kind of the situation I was talking about earlier, which is Cuneo's going to play Sarkhan, make a dragon, then Owen can just downfall the dragon and kill Sarkhan. So it's fine. It's still a 1-for-1. It's not a 2-for-1, but you played 5 mana for a spell that traded for Heroes Downfall, which is not really the way to win a game of Standard.
Well, there is Sarkhan Unbroken.
So it looks like Cuneo is playing around that by just plussing the Sarkhan. Owen gets to hit it down to 1, but then Cuneo gets to draw an extra card. So that actually works out pretty well. So that use of Sarkhan is a lot better. Owen could also just ignore Sarkhan and just smash with Anafenza for 4, but I imagine you do want to target the Sarkhan here. I mean, I think it's close, but I would rather just target the Sarkhan.
Yeah, Anafenza knocks Sarkhan down to 1. Andrew continues to plus. Going to use that mana on Courser of Krufix.
Temur Ascendancy.
It's a nice one of.
Temur Ascendancy is a pretty sweet card. I don't know if this is the matchup for it exactly. It's just it's a 3-mana card that doesn't affect the board, which is not really where you want to be in a matchup like this. And it looks like Brad and Kibler are going to game 3, so their last game took about 2 minutes.
Yeah, that was a fast one. That's Kibler's Green Black Aggro against Brad Nelson's Band Heroic.
Yeah, and so Owen now, he's got, if he attacks, he ends up with a 4-4 and a 5-6. He's also got a downfall, which combined with the Rhino means that if you send a Rhino at Sarkhan, you're pretty much guaranteed to kill it unless Cuneo like triple blocks, and then you can just send Anafenza at Cuneo here. You could even start with the Thoughtseize, take the last Sarkhan, kind of leave Cuneo in a really tough spot here.
Yeah, Andrew is only lands in hand.
Yeah, I mean, it turns out Thoughtseize is just a great card. The combination of Thoughtseize and Heroes Downfall has been very effective for Owen, even though Cuneo isn't really playing the deck Owen kind of put him on. So if you're Cuneo and Siege Rhino is attacking Sarkhan, what exactly do you block here? You can't chump with Caryatid and have Sarkhan live. You can double block with Caryatid and Elvish Mystic. The problem is you know your top card's Temur Ascendancy, and you do get to draw a card off the dragon if you let Sarkhan live. Or if Sarkhan lives at 1, you can just plus it to draw a card. So
this matchup is not looking good for the Temur side.
I don't think it's horrendous, but you know, Abzan Aggro just has the right set of creatures to just run over the Temur cards. Just because the part of the theory behind decks like this is that Courser and Caryatid can help block and protect your Planeswalkers. Just none of Owen's cards are blockable at any point, just about.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed in theory like historically, ramp decks have been exactly what you want to be playing against an aggro deck, right? Your creatures are a little bit bigger, you're slightly slower, so you just have these giant monsters. But the way the Abzan aggro deck comes together, I mean, it may be an aggro deck in name, but the creatures are gigantic. And then it's got Thoughtseize Heroes Downfall. Yeah, I mean, Cuneo is very quickly forced into these super awkward blocks.
Yeah, and here Owen just gets to downfall Courser and just wipe Cuneo's board completely. Seems like a much stronger line than playing a Death Dealer.
Yeah. Down goes Courser to the Hero's Downfall. Trample damage takes care.
Cuneo draws the Temur Ascendancy we knew he was going to draw, gets to scry 1, is going to get whacked for like 10 damage this turn, so yeah. needs to draw something really good next turn. I wonder if he has Siege Rhino in his deck. That would help.
Don't think the colors quite line up that way, unfortunately.
No.
Jeez. Another Siege Rhino for Owen. Wow.
Yeah, these games ended up being kind of a massacre.
True story. Wow, that was fast. Brian Kibler has defeated Brad Nelson.
Yeah, and it looks like we're gonna have time to do some live look-ins here, given that this
Oh
match
yeah,
it looks like it was over real quick. Like for example, Josh and Jerry are still in game one.
true. Yeah, it sounds like Brad mulliganed to 5 in that last game, and the double Raptor plus a Den Protector finished him off pretty quick. Well, here's Savage Knuckleblade. Savage Knuckleblade with Temur Ascendancy is at least fun, right?
Yeah,
Doesn't seem.
You can go infinite. You can keep bouncing Savage Knuckleblade. The thing is, this is actually a really good turn. If Cuneo had a turn like this, like a turn or two prior, things might
Yeah,
be different. Knuckleblade into Pelucrinus, draw 2 is pretty nice, and Cuneo's actually kind of close to delivering lethal here. Owen's at 12, and his 10 power. Of course, Owen has 2 blockers. Oh, and there's Ugin.
yeah, and Andrew's at 1 against 4 attackers. So
I think Owen's going to see it here. I think he's going to attack with everything.
find this line, turn them all sideways. It's kind of it's a tricky one. Yeah, Owen Turtenwald turns them all sideways, and 2-0 may not have run into the deck he was expecting from Andrew Cuneo. Don't care. Thoughtseize still takes your best card. Hero's Downfall still removes your blockers. Giant Creatures still turn sideways.
And if possible, I think if we were to go to a match, it would be Jerry against Josh. So we'll see if we can get that going.
Yeah, the other thing I want to do is I'd like to talk to Owen.
Yeah, awesome.
I think that we've got permanent commentators for this, but I definitely like the way, especially with Vintage Super League, we would constantly be hearing from all the players and sort of getting everybody's take on the matches in the format. So the plan is to try to interview everybody that wins a match on camera. So interview Owen, interview the semifinal winners, etc. So yeah, we'll see which of those we can get put together faster, but we'll try to get Owen on the line, and we will also try to get a live look in on Josh and Jerry. Oh, Tom Ross is now up a game. So Paul Cheon and his Esper Dragons deck lost what looks like a pretty long one to Tom and his Jeskai tokens.
Yeah, we saw 2 games finish in this match where some matches are still in game 1. Though, of course, Brad and Kibler finished a full 3.
Yeah. Awesome. Let's take a very quick break, and when we come back, we'll have Owen Turtenwald in the interview booth. Hey, Owen.
Hello.
Things went pretty well there for you.
Yeah, it was a thrilling match.
Now, obviously, you can't have
You froze.
expected Andrew Cuneo to show up. What were you expecting from Andrew? And
Yeah, there's large amounts of lag happening right now. I hear half a question and then there's a pause.
what thought process? All right, I guess I'm gonna restart Skype and hopefully clear my lag. Luis, you're in charge for now.
Excellent. So one of the interesting things about this week, Owen, is that you did play a deck expecting Cuneo to be on blue-white. I mean, you literally told me that.
Yeah.
But you also played a deck that was just good against decks of Magic. I mean, Thoughtseize, Hero's Downfall, and Efficient Creatures are not bad cards to play against pretty much anything in Standard.
Yeah, I actually thought that coming in. Well, has my deck list been posted?
It's going to be posted after this round, yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I basically expected Andrew to either play a blue-white control deck or purposefully throw me some kind of curveball, knowing that I would expect him to play a blue-white control deck. And I kind of just figured, Thoughtseize and Hero's Downfall will all be good against general kind of decks, and Bramaz specifically seemed good if he was going to play no creatures or all small creatures.
Yeah, and it looks like your choice really seized the day there with a pretty efficient curve, a bunch of Heroes Downfalls, a bunch of Thoughtseizes. Those games didn't look particularly close. Andrew really wasn't that close to stabilizing, despite having a couple of Planeswalkers.
Oh, those were terrible games of Magic. I just beat him senseless. I mean, in both games, it was just over by turn 4 or 5. I mean, his draws were okay, but did not match up well.
Your second draw wasn't insane. I would not call that a great draw initially. You drew the Thoughtseize, which did help, right?
Yeah, Thoughtseize was good. I mean, I was on the draw with a Scryland, and I knew if I hit any card that cost 1 or 2 mana, I would be good. I actually have 4 Ultimate Price and 4 Self-Inflicted Wound in my deck after sideboard, so I figured I would be fine against Elvish Mystic, Pluvinos type business, and draw.
So pretty much as usual, you counted on your vast amounts of luck to pull you through.
Yeah, I figured it was a close hand, but when you factor in my incredible luck, then it's just a clear keep.
You also picked a deck knowing that you want to win the pod. You don't want to just beat Andrew, so you can't just play a deck even if you knew he was 100% on blue-white, you couldn't play a deck with 10 Duresses in it because you might play against some other deck, completely different deck round 2.
Wait, I have to keep playing?
Well, I guess you don't have to.
What's your take on Standard right now, Owen? Is Abzan Aggro a deck that you just like in general? I mean, how much was that deck choice colored by the circumstances of Standard Super League versus what you might take to a Grand Prix?
Well, I thought Andrew would play Control, so I picked it because it's good against Control. So if you expect to play against Control, then Abzan Aggro is certainly a good choice. I kind of picked it because it was fun, and you can really never go too wrong with it. So
Now, you're going to Toronto this weekend?
absolutely, I am.
Is this a deck you're likely to play there as well, or is that just a whole different circumstance?
It's on my radar. I haven't made any final decisions just yet, but I'm certainly considering it. I'm considering it much more now that I know that it destroys Temur.
Yeah, Owen's last 2 deck choices were Abzan Aggro or Temur Ramp, and he decided to play the head-to-head to see which one he would play.
Is that precisely? You know me too well, Luis.
Yeah. So, given that we've got a bunch of matches still live, how about we go ahead and take a look at some of the matches that are still going?
Good call. Yeah, looks like Jerry Thompson is now up a game, so we should be able to get to his match with Josh Utter-Layton pretty early in game 2.
All right. Thanks for the interview, Owen. Good luck in your next round.
Thank you so much.